I hope everyone is fine and fit. We can wait 2 minutes that all of the students can join. So today we have an international session. So we hope that most of the students can join the session. We can start. We don't want that we can waste the time of the other students. The remaining students will join in with the time. So today we have the session on transformation leadership, inspiring change and driving effect, which is an international webinar. Uh, our speaker name is Marjorie Parker Allotey. Uh, if I'm pronouncing wrong the name of our mentor, so I apologize in advance. So today we hope that most of the students can learn here in international platform from the leadership platform and from Marjorie, our mentor. We hope that she can give us a knowledge about the transformation leadership, inspiring change and driving effect. So I request our mentor Marjorie that she can start the session and they can share their screen and start the session. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me. You can use a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Ma'am, your voice is a little bit slow. I will say that
Can you hear me?
little bit loudly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's little bit slow.
Okay. Sure. So my name is Marjorie Parker Allotey. I think he mentioned it well. He did his best. I am from Ghana, in West Africa, and I am actually happy to be here with you today. I would want to say that I'm sure all of you may have your ideas about leadership generally, but I want to speak on transformational leadership. And I think that personally, I think it is the best style of leadership. And I want to tell you why I think it is the best style of leadership and why, as women entrepreneurs and women who aspire to be great in the future, should actually decide that this is the type of leadership style that they would go with. And so, without much ado, I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am, you can share it.
Okay, please, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So I would want us to make this as interactive as possible, okay? Let's try to engage in the chat. Feel free to use the emojis to express whatever you are feeling as the presentation is going on, right? And so I want to ask, what do you think leadership is about? You can put your comments in the chat before we start. What do you think leadership is about? What is your idea of leadership? If you
You
want
can
to
share.
also,
We request our students that they can share their ideas in the group chat box, and if they have any question, they can ask in the end of the session.
exactly. I want to make this very interactive. So if you have anything to share, you can share in the chat section, right?
Yes, actually, ma'am, we have a lot of students, but they have paper tomorrow, so I think they have not joined yet. So we are requesting them to join to that they can learn from you.
All right, sure. So I'm going to continue the session now. So my name is Marjorie Whitney Parker Allotey. Like I said, we are going to be talking on transformational leadership, inspiring change, and driving impact. So I would start with a brief intro of myself, and then what we'll be going through is the definition of transformational leadership. Learn about the 4 I's. We'll learn about why transformational leadership matters. We'll learn about the traits of transformational leadership. I'll speak a bit about my personal journey with transformational leadership, and then we would see what steps we should take to become transformational leaders, right? So when we say transformational leadership, what are we really talking about, right? I was asking okay, I think someone wrote in the chat, Amna Sahab, I hope I got your name right. Leadership means to guide or inspire someone, like how we can motivate the team members. That's actually very true. Thank you very much, Amna, for um, contributing in the chat. So a true leader, from where I sit now or from my own experience, okay, Mina also says leadership is basically a special type of person known as a leader who leads and lets his team grow with him. Thank you, Mina, for also sharing. So for me personally, I think that everybody was born to be a leader, right? I don't think that um, some people were born to necessarily follow. I think that everybody has a leadership potential. The reason I'm saying this is this. When you look at a car, right? A normal car, I mean, a car can be $100,000 or $150,000. But sometimes just a part of the car that is about just $4 could actually stop the car from moving, right? There are so many different parts in a car, or there's so many things that make up one car. But simple part of it, one very simple, not expensive part of the car can develop a fault. And when it develops a fault, the entire car would not move anymore. Why? Because in its own regard, that part of the car is also a leader on its own, right? Within its own jurisdiction, within its own space, it also acts as a leader. And so I believe that everybody, no matter how I mean, leadership can be functional. It depends on the type of function that you perform as a person. So you can be a functional leader. And so in your own way, you are a leader. So even if you're not leading your daily life, your ability to move around and whatever it is that you do daily is you leading yourself. So there's self leadership, right? You leading yourself, the decisions that you make in life, they are all things that make up leadership generally. So even if you're not leading people as of now, you are leading yourself. And so everybody is a leader. Okay, that's something that I believe strongly in. And so transformational leadership is about becoming the kind of leader who lights the way for others, who brings out their potential and creates a culture where everyone thrives. So true leadership is not just you're leading people, right? You have a particular destination in mind. But the question is, those that you're telling about this vision, how better off are they going to be when they adopt your vision, right? How do you make sure that people are challenged to come out with their true potential? How do you challenge people to thrive, right? Because sometimes you may be in a situation where those that are around you either do not believe in what you are telling them, or they are not feeling challenged enough to actually come out with their full potential. So it is our duty as leaders or as aspiring leaders, especially we as women. I don't know if the people here are women, but especially women, it is essential that we sense of compassion and a sense of courage whenever we are thinking about leadership. So how do you make sure that everyone who is around you, who is following you, comes out better just because of the fact that they are following your vision, right? So it's a leadership style that inspires, is a leadership style that motivates and transforms. So just like the name says, transformational leadership is about transforming people. The people you are leading, you are also transforming their lives. In as much as you have a goal or something, a target or something you are heading towards, you are trying your best to transform the person who is helping you on your way to achieving that goal as well. So it focuses on people, it doesn't focus just on performance. It differs from transactional leadership. So there are other leadership styles. There's transactional leadership, there's transformational leadership, and then there's what we call laissez-faire leadership. Transactional leadership is more or less about give me, I give you. It's like a transaction. So if you do something for me, I reward you. If you are working for me and you don't do something for me, then I will punish you. So it's like I give you something because you are doing something for me. So what I'm trying to serve you in this case is your basic needs, which is your salary. I'm just giving you a salary at the end of the day. I am not thinking about whether you personally want to grow beyond where you currently are. I'm just thinking about the fact that we have an agreement. You are supposed to work from 8 to 5 p.m. daily. I'm thinking to myself that after you do this within a period, I pay you a particular amount. So if you don't do your end of the bargain, then that means that I get the chance to punish you how I want to because we have a deal. And that's just transactions. And that's just thinking about short-term rewards, right? But a transformational leader is thinking beyond the short-term rewards. They're thinking about you as a person. They're thinking about your self-esteem and where you want to go and grow as you go along, right? So that's about the definition for transformational leadership. Now, there are four pillars that characterize transformational leadership. The first is idealized influence, which means to lead by example with strong values. So, what kind of values do you find that guides you? What are the things that you hold to, right? Um, there are certain things that has made somebody a role model for you, right? There are certain things that has given someone charisma. I want to believe that all of us here have role models or people we aspire to be. If you know, if there's anyone you aspire to be, you can feel free and put that also in the chat, right? If there's anyone that you aspire to be, like a role model, someone you think is a great example for you to lead, to follow, sorry, you can put that person's name in the chat. So idealized influence is more about people who lead with charisma. Okay, there's just an aura around them that makes you want to follow them, that makes you want to do something for them, right? And most of the times those people are people who are, they have high integrity, right? They have a high value system. You know that this person is not a bad person. You know that he's walking the talk, right? Everything that he's saying, he's actually doing, right? Then there's inspirational motivation. So inspirational motivation comes from them motivating you by stating their vision, right? They share a compelling vision with you. And because of that particular vision, because they have explained it in such a way that you have come to also make that your own goal, it pushes you to actually work towards it, right? You feel included. That's why we have inclusion there. That's why we have optimism there. We have productivity there. So they motivate you to act according to whatever goal that they have. And you do this because you admire them, right? And intellectual stimulation is more or less about them sparking creativity and innovation. So how do you as a person talk to the next person beside you? If you are leading people, if you're in a group and you are the leader, if you have a company and you are the leader, if you intend to be a leader, question is, one of the things that you have to learn how to do is spark creativity and innovation, right? How do you push people to come out with great things, to think outside the box, right? To be very creative. How do you challenge them? I like that. Amna Sahab says she's personally inspired by her father. I'm sure there's something about him that that inspires you. There's something he carries. The way he carries himself is probably why you're also inspired, and what probably he has achieved and done for you. Whatever challenges he has gone through that has made him a great person in your eyes. Those are the things that you should be aspiring to, right? As a role model or someone who, okay, so she says, integrity, communication, willingness to support you, which is amazing. So that is what we are talking about. Someone who wants to transform you. And because of his integrity, you know that he's not someone who is, shady or not doing what he says, right? So we are talking about um, intellectual stimulation here. But another I, in this case, is individualized consideration. So his willingness to support you would fall under individualized consideration, which comes from them sitting with you and then finding out what it is that you want to do personally. The part about esteem. What is it that you want to achieve in life? So even though you are my employee, I care about your career goals. I care about your career path. I want to give you mentorship. I want to show that I really care. That is empathy. I want to put myself in your shoes. I want to push you to become purpose driven, right? So the idea of transformational leadership is actually to create more leaders. Okay, it's actually to create more leaders. So I come to you as someone who is working with me or for me, and I say, okay, where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? How can I help? How can I support? So these are the things that actually they are what we would call the pillars of transformational leadership. And I want to advocate for everyone here to try as much as possible to embody these characteristics, right? Try as much as possible to become this person, a transformational leader, especially if you're a woman who is thinking about, leading people, who is thinking about achieving a lot, who is thinking about going somewhere. If you have a clear vision in mind, that means that um, the best form of leadership you could adapt that would give you the kind of results you are looking for is transformational leadership. So I chose someone who I know is from Pakistan because I was talking to a Pakistani
Yes,
audience.
she is from Pakistan.
Yes. So Malala is someone who is like a global voice at the moment, right? She did something that not many people have been able to do. Winning a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, she being that is an amazing thing. It's a big deal, right? Especially for a woman. And we all know that she's all about girls' rights to education. So, if I understand correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, um, she started from age 11, at least by what I read. She started from age 11 about talking about girls' rights to education, right? She has survived a Taliban attack, which also pushed her. And so we see that she's someone who leads with purpose, right? She leads beyond herself. And this is as a result of the fact that she has a vision that is it has nothing to do with herself. She's just thinking about how to actually make the world a better place, right? And so, question is, how do we become someone like Malala, right? She inspires through courage. So she rose through her challenges. So for some people, once you survive a bomb attack, you would say you're not going to do this anymore. But she's someone who continued. She became even more vocal after the attack that she faced. And then she gives people a vision to believe in. So I know that she has a fund and she's championing a world where every girl can learn and lead. I'm trying to read the comments right now. Yakut Akbar, I hope I got the name right. Forgive me if I didn't. Motivate Pakistani women not to do marriage at early age instead focus on their education, but it is indeed. And so someone like this who, everybody is looking up to. I'm in Ghana and I am greatly influenced by Malala, right? And it's not because she was given a particular position. She rose because she realized there was a fix, do her best or do her part to advocate for girl child education and to make sure that every girl, irrespective of who you are, you should be able to have access to education, right? Because education brings light and it gives you the opportunity to become a big person, to become a great person. And so she gained global influence through her values, right? Her message and conviction. And she embodies integrity and consistency. Consistency. She has stayed true to her mission even after global recognition, right? So Malala is someone who embodies what we are talking about. Like we are talking about transformational leadership. So these are just a few of the things that makes her a transformational leader. You are influenced by her because of what to achieve. you can see that when you look at her, you will not see someone who is shady or who is not true about her beliefs or her values. Based on her actions, you also would want to do almost the same thing, right? You want to become a better person just because someone is doing it. So that is what we are talking about, transformational leadership. Through her own life, her authenticity, right? Through her genuineness, you can tell that, okay, if I also stay like this, if I'm also like this, I can also become another Malala. And that is where we all want to go as people, right? So there are other transformational leaders that the world has seen. Okay, we've heard of Martin Luther King, we've heard of Margaret Thatcher, we've heard of Abraham Lincoln, we've heard of Nelson Mandela, who is a true transformational leader. We've heard of Indra Nuri, we've heard of Mahatma Gandhi, and we've heard of Richard Branson. So these are just a few examples of transformational leaders, right? And I would advocate for you to go and then read more about transformational leadership and then see other leaders that you can also become and their life stories that will also an impact for you. Okay. So as much as possible, I'm sure there are other people in Pakistan who are or who you can tell based on the attributes I have mentioned about transformational leadership. So you can think of them and then probably based on their life, you can also decide that these are the steps that I should take on my leadership journey. So why does this matter? It encourages inclusive leadership, right? Where everybody feels like they contribute to the goal of a company or they contribute to the goal that the vision of the leader. It encourages inclusive leadership because the whole idea of transformational leadership is I want to listen to you, even though I have a vision, I want to listen to you and see what kind of ideas you may have towards my vision, how I can make you a big part of it so that you give your all to me so that we can all achieve the vision together. And then, so it drives innovation and then collaboration. So the idea of me coming to you, me saying, let's think outside the box together, let's brainstorm ideas and come up with solutions to problems that would actually make the world a better place. And everybody wants to see the world become a better place. That is why most of the transformational leaders you have seen are those that have become global figures, those that have done things outside the box, those that have created legacies that we still, we still follow, right? There are so many people there are a few people actually in the world that we still remember. So we always remember, okay, sorry, I think someone asked the question. The person said, Yakut said, ma'am, what should we call to that person who is the leader to the whole community? The question is, what type of leader is that person? Is that person the kind that you want to follow as a leader? Is he someone you also want to follow? Does he lead in such a way that it makes you feel you are included? So transformational leadership
Yes,
matters because
ma'am, ma'am, actually, I'm talking about the Imran Khan. You know about him.
yeah, yes. So
I'm
I know,
inspired from him a lot.
I like that. So the little I know about him is that irrespective of the is he still in jail? Like the last I heard he was jailed. Is he still there?
Yes, ma'am, he's still in jail, but we are praying for him that
Him to be
inshallah he
released.
will released.
Yes. So you see, he's someone who, even in the adversity or in the challenge that he's going through, from where you sit, you are still inspired by him. Then yes, we can actually say that Imran Khan is actually a transformational leader. Because if I understand correctly, he was a cricket star and he has moved. I don't know whether I'm telling the truth. Was he in cricket or he was in journalism? Please correct me. Okay. Okay. So he has risen in the ranks to become someone who is like a star for young people. He is inspiring you based on whatever it is that he has promised, the value he has promised to give Pakistan. And most of you follow because of how he also carries himself. He embodies what he's saying. And because he embodies what he's saying, and you believe strongly in his vision to make your country a better place, that is someone you can actually call a transformational leader, right? Because once you are inspired by him, and once you're saying he has probably inspired something in you to achieve, then he has actually transformed you. So Imran Khan, in a way, can be an example of a transformational leader, at least for Pakistan as well. So I think why it matters, the last section of it is that they empower others to lead and to break barriers, right? The whole idea of influencing you is a huge deal for transformational leadership. So these are the traits or what characterizes transformational leaders. What are the things that you see when they say this person is a transformational leader? What are the things that shows on them that they do that makes them transformational leaders? We are saying that they have to be a visionary.
Ma'am,
Yes, Yakut?
ma'am, you talk about the transactional leadership, in which you talk about the reward. Could you please explain it again in a short summary?
Sure, sure. So I was saying that for transactional leadership, right, most of the leaders that we have, or most of in our workplaces, what happens is that I am working for you, and because I'm working for you, you are required to give me a salary, right? So that is basically like a deal that we have. And so if that is all that happens at your workplace, where your boss only rewards you just because you have done your job, and he doesn't do anything about that, like he doesn't care about whether you are going to school or you are improving yourself, anything of the sort, cares about the job being done, that's a form of transactional leadership, right? And if you probably don't do your job well, he would penalize you, or he would do something to you because you have not done your end of the bargain, right? So it's like a deal between the two of you. You have an understanding that you have to provide something in exchange for something. So that's like a transaction. I don't know if that makes sense, Yakut.
For me, we can see the transactional leadership mostly in the professional life. Like you said, when the boss likes your works, he gives you rewards, all of that. Like, am I right?
Yes, yes. Most of the time you see that in your work life, really. And sometimes it depends on the situation you are in. Sometimes some people just employ you just because they need something from you. And when you give it to them, that is all. Is that clear?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it's clear now.
All right. Thank you very much. And so these are the traits of transformational leaders, right? They are visionaries. They are people who see beyond the now. They are empathetic. That means that they try as much as possible to get close to the team. Okay, their employees or the people who follow them, they try as much as possible to build not just a shallow relationship, but a relationship that goes to the point of, if I'm going through something, I can go to my boss and speak to him about it and he will understand me. I would find my boss approachable, right? I would find him as someone I can talk to about my problems. That is what we are talking about. And then they are courageous. So, like Imran, who is going through a lot, but still, I mean, he still has his vision, he's still true to his cause. That is the kind of leadership we are talking about. Even though it is hard, you have to rise above how hard it is. You have to become resilient as a leader, right? And then you have to be real and authentic. So, as much as possible, authentic, being genuine and being about yourself. Sorry, being yourself. right? So as much as possible, let's try to keep to our own values. Let's try not to be other people, right? You have your own way of behaving. You have your own values, things that you strongly believe in, your own beliefs. You don't have to change your own beliefs just because you want to um, have a particular benefit, right? Just because that is what is popular. No, if you believe strongly in those beliefs, then I would say that you should stay grounded in those beliefs, right? So authenticity is about being real. Everybody has some form of imperfection. So understanding that this is who I am and this is how I do certain things doesn't mean that if you have certain bad habits, you should not change. I'm talking about your values here, right? Um, so as much as possible, be real. Then transformational leadership is also about empowering others. So just as you are inspired by other people, as much as possible, try and inspire others as well. Try and help other people grow. Okay. So I want to ask a question. Which of these traits do you already embody? Um, which one do you want to grow in? Are any of these traits something that you find yourself in? You can put it in the chat if any of these are things that you see yourself as. If you
Could you
don't,
please repeat? Would you please repeat the
yes, I'm
question?
saying that these characteristics or these traits of transformational leadership, do you see yourself as any of them at the moment? Or is there any of them you want to become?
Yes, ma'am. I want to be a transformational leader in my family, because in my family, most of the girls are following me, and I want to do not discourage them. I want to do something very better for them, that they will encourage and they will do a lot and better than me.
Wow. Thank you very much. That's amazing. Yakut. You're already on your way. I think that would be a
Not that
visionary.
amazing, but I think it not that amazing, but I think it should be a little good for them. But if I fail in my own thoughts, in my own beliefs, then I think they will also get discouraged, and then they will do nothing, and then like simple Pakistani or a typical Pakistani, they will get marry someone, and then they will do like what I actually want to say.
Yes, I absolutely understand. No, but that's actually a vision in its own way. I feel it's a strong vision, and I like the fact that it is because you know what would happen if you don't achieve it, right? Based on all the things that you've seen, per what you said, is because of what you've seen, right? You want to change that, and so that in itself is an amazing attribute. So Yakut, I would like to clap for you here. Thank you very much for sharing. Um, I can see in the chat, Amna says that she wants to be empathetic, and or she's already empathetic and empowering. And then Muhammad says he wants to become a visionary and he wants also to become empathetic. That is great. I'm actually grateful for your submissions. Favor says she wants to be empathetic, empowering, and then a visionary. Thank you very much for sharing. So I want to talk a bit about myself, right? I also want to become a transformational leader, and that is the reason why I'm doing this topic. Right? I'm someone who I perceive myself as a leadership enthusiast because I think that nothing happens without leadership. Everything and every part of our lives is either you are following somebody or you are leading, right? So by all means, wherever you find yourself, you're either leading or you're following. So the question is, which one do you want to be? And I'm an advocate for everybody becoming a leader. And so I want to be a transformational leader. I am currently, I think I was supposed to do an introduction, but I didn't do it. But I'm currently the co founder of Together Across Time Foundation. It's a foundation that's into empowering young people, funny enough, empowerment of older people as well. Because I believe that even though older people have retired, there's still a lot of wisdom in them that we young people can learn from. And so I believe strongly in the system where we find a way for old people to, or the elderly, to impart knowledge to young people. So that's what my foundation is about. I started it just last year. It hasn't been an easy journey, funding, so many other things, pushing myself through a lot of challenges, and staying true to the cause, because I believe strongly that we need to build a society where we value the wisdom of the older people, and we also push young people to become the best versions of themselves. And that is the vision that I am going with. That old people still need to be honored, and that young people need to be given the requisite skills that would give them the chance to become better versions of themselves, which would obviously result in a society that we want to see, right? Where nobody is left behind. So that's the vision I am going with. And I have always been deeply passionate about leadership, not just as a position, but as a powerful force for change. I believe in the potential of people. To me, people are bridges connecting us to the future we envision and the dreams we carry and the impact we hope to make. Now, I believe strongly that I cannot do all these things that I want to do without the help of my team. I believe strongly that everybody in my team forms part of a big unit, and I cannot do well without it. So, how do I, in my own, push them to give me the best? And how do they do this, knowing that as they are doing this, they are also becoming better persons? So that's one of the challenges I have. That's one of the things I am thinking about. How do I push those who follow my vision to give me the best of themselves? And how do I also make sure that as they are giving me this, they are also becoming better people? So that is my own way of transforming those that are around me. So I won't claim to have it all figured out. I'm still discovering my feet, right? There's still a long way to go. But I hope to stay true to my cause and to carry others along me. So that is my own aspiration of transformational leadership. Now, how do you become a transformational leader? Right? Most of you are writing about empathy. Angry Bird wrote about empathy. Favor wrote about empathy. Mohammed wrote about empathy. Now, how do you develop empathy? They'll tell you that the smartest people in the world are those with high EQ, which is emotional quotient, rather than those with high IQ, right? The smartest people in the world are those that have a high emotional intelligence. So, as much as possible, once you know you want to lead people, once you know that you want to become a great person in the future, you need to learn how to deal with people. Because, like I said before, people are the bridges to wherever it is you want to go. So, if you don't know how to communicate, your gestures, your body language, how to talk to people, the tone, the right tone to speak to people, then you're already losing out. So, it's a skill you can develop. So, you may not be a people person right now, but you can become a people person. Okay. So I would advocate for all of us to develop um, emotional intelligence. So before you react to any situation, before you become angry, try as much as possible to pause before reacting, right? Define what your core values are and lead with them. So maybe you don't know what your belief system is. What kind of things drives you? Are you a person who wants to be seen as a person of integrity? Someone who is honest, someone who has high moral values, who is a visionary, who is empathetic. All these things are values, right? So define what your core values are and try as much as possible to abide by them, to live by them. Your body. Yes. So yeah, so she's, Amna says to put yourself in the other person's shoes, to be proactive and not reactive. Exactly what I mean. So as much as possible, stay curious, learn from people. Right now, there are a lot of podcasts. There are so many messages we can be listening to, things that would, sharpen your brain, things that would make you more knowledgeable in certain fields. So as much as possible, let us learn. A leader is someone who is continuously learning. Okay, you are continuously learning. You are making sure that you are not staying behind, because as you can see, AI is the new revolution. So if you don't get yourself on board with AI, then you are going to be left out. So you have to stay curious and learn and keep learning. And there are certain things you have to unlearn, right? There are some things you thought you knew that were true, which were not actually true. So those are things you have to unlearn. And then you have to relearn certain things as well. Then you build someone up. So if you have a friend, if you have people already following you, start thinking about how you can give them feedback, you can encourage them to become something else, you can push them. You realize that some people have potential around you and they are not utilizing it. Start speaking to them about what you see. Sometimes they can't even see what their potential is. So start speaking to them, tell them about it, right? And help them to come out of themselves, to become who they should be. You can also see. Okay, so take the initiative, create or speak into a vision, even in small ways. So don't wait for someone to come and solve a problem you yourself have identified. I think as human beings, we like complaining too much. If you're complaining and everyone else is complaining and no one is doing something about it, then the problem remains the problem, right? So try and do something about it. Don't sit down. You can find someone else to talk to. That is you taking the initiative, being proactive. Find someone else who would believe in what you're saying and who also equally thinks that that's a problem that has to be solved. And then go to that person and see how you can do something about it, right? Now, being a transformational leader is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing at all. And it takes a lot to be a transformational leader, right? Most of the time you have to deal with resistance, right? How do people are there, they don't like change. A lot of people don't like change. They like things how it is going. They resist the change because they feel that the change is threatening to them. They feel that if they change, it will go against them. But sometimes you need to change how they think, because for certain things to go around and for certain things to go well, it will be great if you create drastic changes in your life. You would have friends who may actually leave you just because you have decided to take some drastic steps in your life. And so it is important that sometimes you listen to them to counter this particular problem. It will be great if you listen to the people who are resisting the change. Maybe they have genuine concerns. Maybe you can work around the concern. You can also tell them why you think the change is necessary. If you communicate well to them that maybe I'm doing this because if I do this, it will be good for you and I, then people would not resist the change and they would actually listen to you. Okay, you have to also walk the talk. So whatever it is you are claiming would change, you yourself, you have to show the change. You have to live the change. Now, another thing is
Ma'am,
managing. Yes, Yakut.
ma'am, you said about curiosity. Could you please tell me a little bit more about in your previous slide, in your recent slide?
Which one? About which one?
Could you, the third one, stay curious, learn from people,
Oh, okay.
podcast, and mentor.
Yes. I'm just saying that let us try as much as possible to keep learning, because as leaders, you need to keep yourself informed, right? We can learn from podcasts. Um, there are lots of podcasts. I'm sure even in Pakistan, people have podcasts. They talk about leadership. They talk about a lot of things that are going on in the world. And one of the people or people who are doing well in this world are people with information. That's the truth. People with lots of information are the ones who are doing well in this world. So as much as possible, it is important that you keep yourself informed. If there are certain skills you need to learn, start learning them. I was talking about AI. I was talking about the fact that AI is now the new wave and everybody is jumping on this wave. You don't want to be like Nokia phones who decided not to ride the Android wave and they were left behind, right? Nobody should be left behind. So if you realize that AI is what is going along and you don't have any skills in that field, you have to start learning. If you're someone who is thinking about, like, you have a huge vision ahead of you, AI is not something you can ignore. That is what I'm trying to say. So you may need to get yourself mentors, right? People who are in the field that you aspire to be in. So you need to find such people to follow, okay, so that you can follow in their steps and become like them, right? So those are, I don't know if that's clear for you, Yakut.
Yes, ma'am, it's now clear for me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So in managing burnout and pressure, when you are someone who is leading, there's a huge possibility that you would either not rest because you are feeling guilty about resting, right? You are feeling like you are carrying the whole world on top of your head. And if you sleep, nothing would happen. You end up overworking yourself. By the time you realize you have fallen sick, and then what you are hoping not for is what would happen, then indeed your goal would not be achieved. As much as possible, as leaders, we have to see rest as a strategic thing, as a requirement, so that you can have clarity of judgment. Because if you have not rested, if you are someone who is under a lot of pressure, that means that you will not be as effective or as efficient as you should be at your task. So it is important that we cultivate a culture of grace, not of guilt. Failure is okay so far as you are not staying at the failed state, so far as you are learning from the failed state. It is important that sometimes it's important that we fail so that we can learn from the mistakes, right? So if you do fail, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. What it means is that you should come out of it. The pressure of failure should not keep you at the failed position. It should make you rather come out as a better person. So you need to learn to manage yourself and manage your own emotions so that you do not, it doesn't result in burnout, right? Now we are women here. Most of us here are women. Navigating gender bias. I know is a huge problem in Pakistan. Um, Most of the time you would come up with an idea and the man will claim that it is his idea. You would have um, them not giving you even the chance to talk and express yourself, right? And that those are things that are huge problems for us. It's something that happens across the world, but I'm sure in your countries it's something that is a bit prevalent. What I would say is this: that when you realize someone is doing that in a subtle way, not in a disrespectful way, try and then um, correct the misattribution. Like they are saying that this is theirs. No, it is not theirs. Correct it. Find a way of correcting and making sure that what you have said is what you really have said. We need to build courage as women to speak up more, right? So it is important that we communicate whatever achievements that we have, what you have achieved. Try as much as possible to find a great way to communicate it. Don't keep quiet just because someone is shutting you up, right? You have to also
Ma'am,
get
we
people.
shouldn't be quiet, but ma'am, I think we shouldn't be quiet at that moment, but we take our every step and every decision and every word of ourselves in a respectful way, which give a good impression to that one person. You know what I actually want to say? Are you getting my point?
Yes, I get what your point. So you are not being disrespectful, you are just communicating. You try and find a nice way of saying certain things, right? So that the other person is not offended. But the point is, if you are the one who did it, try and say and let people realize you are the one who did it. Don't let the men always overshadow you, right? Then imposter syndrome. I don't know how many of you have heard of imposter syndrome. but it is like a feeling of you not being good enough. It's like you feel that um, you probably did much. You doubt yourself. Even when you've actually done something, you don't believe that you are capable of doing a lot. And as women who are perfectionists, if you're someone who likes everything to be 100% all the time, it's a problem that you may have. But when you have these feelings, admit that indeed you have the feeling, right? Don't try and push down that feeling. Call the feeling out because it is what it is. You are not feeling good enough, right? But what I would say is focus on the impact that you are making. Don't focus on your insecurities. Focus on the value that you are giving to other people. So that in one way or the other, the more value you give, the more your self-esteem also increases. Okay, the more impact you make, the more your self-esteem also rises. So call out imposter syndrome, and you belong in every room where your calling leads you to. Don't ever doubt that. Anywhere you're calling, what your goal that you are trying to reach, your vision, wherever it takes you, you belong in that room. Do not ever doubt that. You belong in the room wherever it is your calling leads you. So some people are there, they don't have a lot of authority, but they have to lead, right? They think that they are overlooked because of their age, their gender, they don't have a title, they don't have any official power, and they need permission before they lead. No, you can lead through influence, not just your position. So leadership is not just about being called a particular title before you can do anything. Most of the time, the leaders come out of like situations. You realize that something is going wrong. Someone will just get up and decide that I want to do something about it. The person has not been given a particular title, but the person is doing something about it, right? You try as much as possible to take the initiative, volunteer sometimes to be the lead, initiate like a collaboration, you and somebody else working together on a project. Start talking to people about your vision if you have a vision. And then, as much as possible, we need to stay consistent with our values. Whatever your values are, stay consistent with them. You don't have to go by what is popular, what everybody is saying. Know what you stand for, okay? And set the boundaries that, um, make sure you set boundaries early so that you can say no when someone is coming to say something that goes against your values. Okay, sometimes you don't need to compromise to everything. So try as much as possible to set your boundaries, right? Then I've spoken a lot today. I'm almost at the end of my presentation, but I want us to reflect and then act. Where can you be a transformational leader today? These are the questions I want us to ask ourselves. Where can you be a transformational leader today? Who can you uplift in your workplace or community? What bold idea have you been sitting on? Right? It may need your voice. So leadership starts with one step. What will yours be? So this is something I want to challenge all of us here, right? Think about it. How can you lead people so that they also become leaders? How can you lead people so that they follow you based on even your own personality and how you carry yourself? How do you become a proactive person, as Amna had said? How do you become an empathetic person? How do you empower other people? How do you become a visionary? Those are the attributes of transformational leaders. Okay. So, who in your community can you uplift? Who can you make a better person? Who can you speak to so that whatever the person is doing that may be wrong, the person will change that? Who can you change from a bad route to become a good person? Okay. Transformational leadership isn't about solving real world problems. Okay. All the things that you see in society that you have a problem with, that you know is wrong, based on your own value system, you know that this is wrong. You speaking up about it is a big deal. You doing something about it is a big deal. And that is where transformational leadership starts from. So if you have a bold idea that will challenge customs and beliefs and so many other things, you just need a voice, and you need people who would believe in the same idea to push through this. Okay. So I want to ask, what are your key takeaways? If you also have any question, you can ask me now. Hamid, I'm open for questions
Okay, if anyone have any questions, so they can ask any one of you.
or any contributions to what I've said is also what you have learned today as well. If you've learned anything, you can talk about it too.
Ma'am, can you please change the slide to the recent? Is change matlab, can you please change the slide to the last one?
This one,
Before this one,
Yes, ma'am, before this one.
this one,
The next one, the next one, the next to that one.
this one,
it's not this one.
or this
This
one.
one, yes, yes, this one, this one.
Okay.
Ma'am, talking about the second last slide,
Which one? Build someone up.
A previous one, not this one, ma'am.
in which you questioning to us the three questions.
No, no,
It's
not,
here. It's
not,
here.
not, not this one. This one.
Is this one?
Yes, yes, ma'am, this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Yakut, you have any question on this?
Ma'am, you said what bold idea have you been sitting on? So, ma'am, if we have a lot of ideas in our minds, and we want to implement that ideas in our community to change, the point of views of the persons in our community, the peoples in our community. Ma'am, what should we do as a special thing first to implement our bold idea in our community? Am, are you getting my point?
Are you saying that you may have a bold idea, but you don't know how to get people involved in it? Is that the question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My question is like that.
Okay. So, have you spoken to a friend about it, someone you trust about your idea?
And actually, I'm, unlimited only to myself, not talk too much to my friends, even in my family. But I really, share ideas and thoughts only to my teachers. Like I'm also communicating with you in this, session.
Okay. So, the first step is talking to people you are comfortable with about these ideas. If you have a mentor, someone you are following, someone who is teaching you that you respect greatly, you can start speaking to that person about your idea and then get advice on the best way possible to get your idea across. Then he would probably tell you, he or she would probably tell you other people you can speak to. But I would say that, ideas are not things that should stay in your head. You have to speak to people about it. So if there is also someone in your family you can speak to about it, someone you trust, you can speak to about your ideas. That is also a good way to start. But I would say that you should start with your mentor or your teacher or like anyone that you trust that you can have these kinds of conversations with. You start there. Then if it is something that can be built into like a great thing, you can start planning, right? You can start planning what should go into making the idea into something big. And then little by little, you start different tasks, different things that you are supposed to do. You'll be surprised at what will come out eventually. When I started my my NGO, it was an idea in my head as at March last year, exactly a year from now. There was an idea in my head. I had not spoken to many people about it, but I went around doing presentations about the idea that I had, and I realized that a lot of people felt the same way I felt. I went to several places to speak to them about something else, and whilst I was talking about that other thing, I spoke to them about my idea, and they felt that it was something. If it was there, it would be good for society. So that gave me the confidence to continue, to start creating a plan, to register it as a business or as an NGO, and to start having programs under that NGO. So it started small, but I started speaking to people about it, people who would be able to understand what I'm saying, right? And
Yes,
so
ma'am. You want to say to me like I want that I would be like, social and communicable, do communications with the people. But I want to be like that social person. But sometimes the environment in which we are living gives, and a response which is not, good. The environment do not responding good to us. The peoples in that environment. So sometimes I think it, affect a lot.
I see. Are there I know they listen to the men more there, but are there any male friends that you may have that you can speak to?
I will say one thing: if she have an issue in their idea, so we can help her out. So if she can discuss with us, we can give you outline of their presentation. We can enroll them in different sessions, and we can give him opportunities to explore her idea if she want.
That's great. So Hamid is an example of a mentor, Yakut. So I would say you should speak to Hamid because I'm sure he even has the um, the resources to help you. Okay, with your
Yes,
idea.
here we have different platforms, yeah, like BIC Peshawar University, BIC IM Sciences, NIC Peshawar, TIE Islamabad, different societies. There, students come and they can explore their ideas, and they can take grants and other different opportunities they can take from that places. So if they have an idea and she think that they have their potential in their idea, so we can help her out.
Okay, that's good. I think someone else raised his hand.
Yes. Any one of you have any questions, so they can ask. If not, so we can then end the session. As I will say that it's appreciated session from the ma'am, uh, Marjorie,
So
and I hope that we can arrange more session like this on different topics in the coming days, as she gives fantastic session today, and she give us her precious time to our platform. So I thank Madam Marjorie for their time. Thank you very much, Madam, and I hope that
yes,
we can
so
arrange more session. Yes, yes,
sure. So these are my final thoughts to them before I close. Transformational leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. Start where you are and grow intentionally. Okay. Transformational leadership isn't a destination, it's a journey of consistent intentional impact. You are already on that path. So once you are in the thing, you are already on the path of transformational leadership because that means that you want to be a great person. That means that you want to make change happen. That means that you want to make an impact. And so you've already started. Okay. So it's an intentional path. Make sure that you keep on this path. You decide that you want to grow and you want to become a better person. You want to make impact in your life. You want to leave a mark because all these people that we find as role models, all these people that we like, they are leaving a mark that generations after them would keep talking about. So when you wake up in the morning, think about it. What kind of mark do I want to leave in this world? Those are the kinds
Ma'am,
of thoughts. Yes, Yakut.
Ma'am, I want to share something with you that um, everywhere we are looking, each and everyone is talking about empowering women. But what if we uh, take out take out some ideas and we arrange some sessions on empowering teenagers in which men and female child both are involved. By doing this, I think in the coming life we shouldn't face any difficulty by empowering the women. If we empower the teenagers in their starts, then I think we should, do a better something better for their future or for our future.
Yes. I mean, that's a brilliant idea. And I think it's something you can even champion. So, Hamid, she's saying that you could also go to the teenagers and have these conversations with them and create an empowering environment for the teenagers.
We can if she can talk to their nearby school universities, so we can arrange session there and we can deliver different topics there physically and empower male and female both there.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, ma'am,
yes,
nowadays, I looking forward, to the teenagers. They are all busy in social media, TikToks. They are really unaware of their future, that what they will have to do in the future. And when they realize the time has gone, I think we should do something like that for them.
exactly. Exactly. It's a very important issue. And not just where you are, even where we are here, is the same thing. And yes, even from where I sit, I think you have inspired me. My target group is usually university students, but I think I would go to the teenagers, high school students, and start speaking to them about these things. Thank you very much, Yakut. It's a brilliant initiative.
Yes. uh, Thank you, madam, for your kind session and kind time. And inshallah, I will be in contact with you, and we can try that we can arrange more session like this. It was an informative session, appreciated session. I really enjoyed by myself. So thank you very much, ma'am, for once again for your session.
Thank you very much, Hamid, for having me. I hope I have changed people's mindsets about leadership. I hope I have inspired people here to become transformational leaders. And I hope I have inspired people to um, empowered people here as well. So thank you for having me. I also appreciate it, Hamid.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.